last video on this section of the Apostles' Creed. First article, I believe in God the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. We take a look at Luther's third distinction here about what it means to have God as our Father, Creator, Almighty. One, he protects. That was what we heard this week. But before that, actually, he creates and then he preserves. And now he defends, right? He protects. This last question for our consideration today, does God protect us in all circumstances? Maybe that's a nagging question that keeps coming back. Name some times in your life or in the life of someone else where it looks like God didn't protect. How might we explain God's seeming absence? Ultimately, how has he shown us that he will truly protect us forever, even though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, which is a reference to Psalm 23, talking about that even believers have struggles in this life and bad things befall them. As you think about that, how do we explain bad things that happen to you and me? I mean, what's the reason for them? Where is God at in that? Listen to this passage from Romans 5, 3-5. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit, who's been given to us. And so I love that passage because there's some insight, what God is up to in difficult times, hardships that we suffer, even loss. God's blessings to you as you talk a little bit about where God is at when it comes to our hardships and suffering. I won't give you the answer for that, but I will give you this thought in closing. God is a God who understands suffering. He understands what you're going through. He understands the loss even of a child, his own son, at the cross. Maybe give some insight into Jesus at the cross, being put to death, and where God is at in that moment. Isn't the same going to be true for us? We just can't maybe see it in the moment. Again, God's blessings on your discussion.